Hello and welcome to the week 4. The main topic of the week 4 is grief and attachment, softening the grip. We are going to look into the connection and link between grief and attachment and how to lose the grip. So very often the pain is caused by a feeling or thought that things outside of us must change in order for the body to feel relaxed, grounded, safe, worthy, or enough. Attachment is not caring too much. It is this internal grip to an outcome, identity, person, image, or a need. It feels in the body like leaning forward, reaching, grasping, tightening, rushing towards something and feeling of restlessness. Underneath this grip is often a grief. The ache of what was lost, what did not happen, may never happen, or what mattered more than the mind would like to admit. So we learn how to allow the grief and the attachment be present. How to soften this grip and grasping of a need or image. We all are losing someone or something throughout the life. And rather than suppressing the grief, we learn how to be with it. We often, our mind wants to reason that we should be already over this. Or maybe we even blame ourselves that we could have done more, that we could have done better, we could be better. We maybe want to change the circumstances and ourselves to being attached to this change as a compensation of unprocessed grief. But we learn how to lose this grip through cultivating the enoughness. Being aware of that certain attachments are present, that the grief is present, and that we can allow it to be there. But we are aware of that we can feel support of a ground beneath. We can feel the breath. And maybe we can also find at least some gratitude in the present moment for being alive. There is enough life here to breathe, to sit in dignity. There is at least some support in our life. At least the support of the ground beneath us. So we learn to find compassion also for ourselves, the self-compassion. It is a human to feel sorrow and to feel grief. It is a sign of that we have the ability and the capacity to love. So we are making space for this to be present. The feeling of grief may feel as a heaviness in the chest, hollow in the abdomen, tight in the throat, wetness in the eyes. It can come in strong waves, and if the waves become overwhelming throughout the practice in the meditation, we can always decide to open the eyes, feeling the breath, feeling the support, and maybe come back next time. This should not be seen as a form of cowardness or weakness, but rather of an acknowledgement of its strength and the self-care respecting own capacity of being with something. So the pacing is really important. Throughout the practice we are also going to learn, and it's really important to be aware of that no matter how much grief there is always at least a small space within ourselves that we can allow to be without fighting. Just being in peace in the present moment. So the grief is quiet, low energy. It can fall if we suppress it into apathy, lethargy. But if we meet the fear and process it, we can get higher up. We can meet willingness, courage, and then move up on the ladder of the emotional spectrum. Grief is not failure of love. It is often love learning how to breathe without holding. We have to accept the grief as our inner human strength and capacity, and understand the suffering that is coming from attachment, the pain that comes along with it. Caring is a spacious sign and manifestation of the ability of love and responsibility. Yet clinging is this fusion and forcing the circumstances in the outer environment in order for us to become relaxed and safe. So we have to distinguish between a free, open, loving care and manipulating clinging that is being contracting and tightening. So this is the topic of week 4. We all lose, we all love, and we all desire. But we should be aware of our desires and attachments, and to be able to choose which serve us well and which are destructive for our life, which are only illusions, unprocessed griefs, unrealistic desires, self-judgments, and self-oppressions. So there is a 20-minute recording for the work with grief and attachment, softening the grip. We are going to practice together the 4th position, the wise owl gazes back. And there is going to be also a video on the topic of intention. Yes. Very important aspect that I forgot to mention in processing the grief is mindfulness. Mindfulness in the form of noticing how is the grief sensed in which body part in the present moment. the somatic aspect of it, but also it is a very important aspect of the impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Everything is in the state of change and fluidity in our life. So however the grief is strong and however long it lasts, it will loosen in its intensity, it will soften, and it will go away. But it will go away only if we open to the grief, if we acknowledge its feelings in the body, if we allow it to be. That is the way to let go. Allow it to be with it. Knowing that there is support, it is a sign of loving, and it will ease, it will change. It will teach us something. Making space for another chapter, for the new things to come. Learning how to love more deeply, without clinging and attaching. So, I hope that you are going to be courageous, patient with yourself, that you are going to be open and honest with yourself, and that you are also going to take good care of yourself, really about this pacing. Yeah. So have lots of fun, success throughout this week, and yes, I think it's a really interesting topic of how to loosen a lot of contracted energy in our body and in our mind and lives, how to free up a lot of capacity so that we can get higher up on the emotional spectrum. If there is a lot of unprocessed grief, a lot of unprocessed pain for too long, it's really destructive. So enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for your attention.